Huge shout out goes out to our current channel members. If you're interested in gaining a channel membership, then feel free to head over to my channel profile and click the join button. Also, we do have a Ninjago Discord server. It's a great way to communicate with myself and many others. For more details on that, click the very first link at the very top of the description of this video. So hello there everybody and welcome back on in to the channel today for a new video. Now today, well, it would appear as though the current, like, quote-unquote main writer for Ninjago, that being Chris Doc Wyatt, also known as just simply Doc, well, he's answered a question that a Ninjago fan over on Twitter asked, and to be honest, I feel as though, well, this hasn't been directly stated by a lot of people, you know, like, I'm not going to sit here and claim, like, this has been a huge question I've seen over and over again within the community, because, to be honest, it hasn't been, but I feel as though in the back of a lot of people's minds, I know definitely mine included in that, there has been a slight question we've all had, or at the very least, we would have definitely had this kind of question in a few months once we get all of Dragons Rising, because obviously, I'm sure you are all aware by this point that Dragons Rising Season 1, remember that Dragons Rising is the show title, it's not just this one season, but the Season 1 of Dragons Rising, it has been split up into 2 parts, and the reason for that is quite obvious, I'd say. It's just because of the fact that there are literally 20 22-minute episodes. That is an extremely long Ninjago season, the longest one in total we've ever had by far, just counting all of the runtime, so it would only make sense to split things half and half, have 10 episodes for part 1, and then have another 10 episodes for part 2, right? It just makes sense. It saves people having to binge all of the episodes at once just so they can catch up and feel as though they're not going to get spoilt by just existing on the internet. So that's a bit of background information with regards to this entire situation, but somebody on Twitter asked this. It reads, quote, "Can you please answer? Will each new Dragons Rising season have 1 part, or have 2 parts like Season 1? And then Doc essentially quote-tweeted that with his response here, which reads, quote, "Not sure. Releases are negotiated between LEGO and TV distributors like Netflix, Cartoon Network, etc. As a writer, I do not like spending 2 years making a season, then viewers binge it in a night. So I would like weekly airings for 20 weeks, but I prefer 2 drops of 10 over 1 drop of 20. So he has kind of, well, I wouldn't say answered as such because, well, he isn't the guy that kind of knows this stuff, and that on its own is some form of answer, because you have to keep in mind, and I know it's very easy to forget this, I always forget this, I don't want to sound like I am on a pedestal of sorts, but you do definitely have to remember at times that Doc is the writer for the show. He isn't the guy that actually kind of runs everything with regards to the show. Things work in stages, so he essentially just runs the actual show itself. You know, he writes it, he helps create it, and then you've also got people that obviously animate it, which he has nothing to do with, the voice acting, all of that good stuff. And then there's also the other side of stuff, which is the more technical side, which is what is, you know, kind of relevant to talk about here, and that is the fact that there is also the distributing of the actual show, which is done by a lot of other different people. Not too sure on specifics there, but obviously you've got all of these other companies, you know, obviously LEGO themselves, all kind of behind closed doors trying to actually distribute the season for everybody to, well, obviously watch it and therefore generate revenue for LEGO and all parties involved. And so Doc isn't involved in that at all. But it is also very understandable that he doesn't want viewers completely binging that, and that is, again, very, very understandable, especially because he also says he spends around 2 years, you know, on this season, which is a huge amount of time when you consider absolutely everything that goes into it, just for us to essentially watch at least the first 10 in, like, the first day they come out. It's an absolutely insane ratio there, to be quite honest, and the more I think about that, the more crazy it really is. Wow, 2 whole years on this one season is wild, but I suppose it does make a lot of sense. And if I was in his shoes, kind of hard to imagine, but just imagining here, yeah, it absolutely makes sense that, you know, he would be a little bit disappointed that people end up just watching all of the episodes at once, and that's obviously not a fault of the viewers, it's just a result of, you know, the poor distribution. So if I was him, I probably would agree on him and say that 20 weeks worth of episodes is very, very good, to be honest, or 2 drops of 20. I'm not sure which I prefer, probably the weekly drop idea, but that is maybe a little bit more unrealistic. But regardless, yes, I really, really hope that in the future, assuming all of the seasons are this kind of length, you know, with 20, 22-minute episodes, I hope that they do come out in parts, part 1 and part 2. It just makes the most sense, because I do not want to sit through 20 episodes, which are 22 minutes long, all in one day or so, or something like that, just rushing through as quickly as possible. Quality over quantity. I do not want to be rushing myself with any of this, so this makes total sense. But with all of this being said, that is just about going to cover it for today's video, so hopefully you guys did all enjoy it. For more like this, please do feel free to drop a like on today's video, subscribe to the channel for more, and hit the notification bell so that you behind the screen there, it's you there, I'm staring right at you, can keep up to date on all things Ninjago here on the channel. And with all of this being said, I will catch you all very soon for a new video. Goodbye everybody, see you all very soon.